What are we doing today? We are recapping Pythagoras. So we've covered it over the last 2 weeks. Today is the last day we will deal specifically with Pythagoras. And so over the last 2 weeks, what have we covered? Well, we covered our normal Pythagoras theorem, okay? But we also covered the converse of Pythagoras. And I've put it up here so you guys can see the differences next to each other. And so let's look at our normal Pythagoras triangle. First things first, we know we can only use Pythagoras when we have a right angle triangle. And the rule of Pythagoras says that the sum, so immediately I'm going to have that is way too thick. Let's try that again. So it says the sum of the square of two sides is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. And so these are my three different sides, and we can represent them using the variables which we've been using so far, which is A is equals to B plus C. Okay, so let's read that again. The sum, so we have a sum, and it's the square of two sides. And in this case, our two sides is going to be labeled B and C. And so this sum is equal to the square of my hypotenuse of a right angle triangle. So this is the theorem of Pythagoras. When we look at the converse theorem of Pythagoras, it says that if the square of the, and this is supposed to be, if the square of the longest side, so if the square of the longest side, so we have a side and we have the square of the longest side, if it is equal to the sum of the square of my other two sides, then the triangle must be a right angle triangle. And so what we said with the converse theorem of Pythagoras is that basically what it's saying is, if I substitute values into this formula and my left-hand side actually does equal to my right-hand side, well, then we have that my triangle is a right angle triangle. But the minute my left-hand side does not equal to the right-hand side, it means that my formula for Pythagoras does not work, which means, therefore, I do not have a right-angled triangle. Now, if we look at when we use each one of these theorems, the first thing we spoke about was we said when we're using the normal Pythagoras theorem, first things first, you have to be given a right angled triangle. Okay, so you have to be given a right angled triangle. The second thing is you must, and let me not even write that, I'll just say you must be given 2 out of 3 sides. So the length of 2 out of 3 of your sides. And lastly, your question, you must be required to calculate your missing side. Okay? This is when you know you are going to use Pythagoras. So if they told me that this side is 4, this side is 3, and they said calculate the length of the missing side here, I know I can use Pythagoras. Why? Firstly, I've been given a right angle triangle. I've been given 2 out of 3 sides of my triangle, and I am required to calculate the length of the missing side. So here I know Pythagoras is going to work. When do I use the converse theorem? So the first things first, you will be given an unknown type of triangle. So you will be given an unknown type of triangle. So you won't know whether or not it's a right angle triangle. The second thing is you must be given all 3 side lengths. So in this case, if I told you this was 4, this was 3, and this was 5, I've now been given all 3 side lengths. And the third thing is you must be required to prove that this triangle is or is not a right-angled triangle. Okay, so this has been all of the theory we have covered so far. Are we all up to speed on this? Does this make sense to everybody? Are we all happy with the theory we have covered so far? Okay, I saw one thumbs up. School closed today. Is that for everybody? Did everybody close school today? Uma, it doesn't count if you have a million thumbs ups. Oh, that's so nice. I did not know that. Yes, I know most schools do close. The 20th is tomorrow, Bree. No, ma'am. Unati, when are you closing? Anywho, while we're doing that, I'm going to take it that we understand. We understand this. Oh, and by the way, obviously, in this converse theorem over here, your question would be something like, prove whether this triangle is a right angle triangle. And what you would do is you would literally substitute your sides into your formula. And when you come to your conclusion, if your left-hand side does equal the right-hand side, you have a right angle triangle. If it does not, then you don't. So that's that. And remember, when you're substituting into your formula, you're not just putting any numbers anywhere. You are putting the longest side into your A value over here. Because remember, that represents your hypotenuse. Now, what about the hypotenuse? How do we know which side is the hypotenuse? That was something else that we covered. Remember, when we're not given all the lengths of our side, so here I don't know the length of this side, so I can't tell you which side is the longest side. When I don't know all the lengths, my hypotenuse, and let me use blue, oh boy, let's try that again. My hypotenuse is going to be the side opposite your right angle, okay? Where you're given all three lengths of your sides, your hypotenuse, you know what's your hypotenuse by the longest side, okay? So that is how we know what is the hypotenuse. Stop going last week Thursday. Yeah, I know a lot of people just don't go in the last few weeks. Unati writing English tomorrow. Good luck, Unati. We are now going into some questions. If we have volunteers, and I immediately had a hand, Emishle, do you want to answer?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
I would like to answer, ma'am.
Beautiful. Do you wanna pick a color to answer in?
Yes, ma'am.
What color do you want?
Purple, ma'am.
Okay. Well, we have this purple, and we have this purple, and I'm sure there's another
The
purple here. No, there is not. So you have these two purples.
so the first one, ma'am. The dark one.
Okay, so let's go. Tell me how to do this question.
So, ma'am, we're gonna say a squared
Mm-hmm.
is equal to b squared plus c squared,
Mm-hmm.
and then wait, I think this.
Sure.
Then since there's no wait, ma'am,
Do
a
you want me to
b doesn't
scroll up?
have. Excuse me.
There we go.
Okay, you can go scroll down, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
So then 15 squared
Okay, why are you saying 15 squared?
because it's the longest side, ma'am.
It's the longest side, right? But
Yes, ma'am.
do I have the length of all three sides?
No, ma'am.
So is it actually fair for me to say this is the longest side?
No, ma'am.
No, right? Because what if this is 20, right? So how else do I
Yes, ma'am.
know what's my hypotenuse?
If it's the side opposite the right angle, ma'am.
Right. So which side would that be?
Line AC, ma'am.
AC, so this line here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when we say opposite, remember line AC right now is actually adjacent. Remember, adjacent basically means next to. If you look at my marking of the right angle and my marking of the side, do you see that they're actually next to each other?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when we say opposite, you're almost going to act like this little corner over here is looking up into the sky, and this line over here is what's opposite. Okay, you
Yes,
seeing
ma'am.
this line? So
Yes, ma'am.
this is my unknown. Okay, so this is my side that's unknown, but it is also my hypotenuse. You with me
Yes,
there?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So when I'm substituting, I'm going to substitute in just a b because I don't know the length of that line yet. Okay, do you
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
carry on?
Yes, ma'am. So then we're gonna say eight squared
Mm-hmm.
plus 15 squared, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
And then um AB AB squared
Mm-hmm.
equals 64 plus
Mm-hmm. Plus?
I'm still really calculating, ma'am,
Oh, okay.
which is 225, ma'am.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So then AB squared is then equal to 289
Mm-hmm.
centimeters. Yes.
Are we done?
No, ma'am. Then we're gonna say therefore. Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Therefore, AB is equal to. Wait. Yes. AB is equal to 289 centimeters.
Okay. Initially, I caught you because remember what we said. And remember, I told you you're going to be sick of me asking, are we done? Did I want to know what is the length of AB squared?
No, ma'am.
No. So what do we have to do to get just AB alone?
Divide, ma'am.
Not divide. What's the opposite of a square?
Square root.
Square root. So to get rid of my square, I'm going to square root and then they cancel out. But because I
Yes,
square root to the one side, remember I'm going to square root the other side. You with
yes,
me
ma'am.
there?
Yes, ma'am.
Now tell me what I get.
Um, can I please just get my calculator, ma'am? I'll
Sure.
be back now.
No stress. Avril, I see I'm saying Avril. Demi, I see you have the answer. Beautiful.
I'm back, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
So then, AB is equal to 17, ma'am.
17. Beautiful. And 17 what?
17 centimeters, ma'am.
Centimeters. And are we done?
Yes, ma'am.
No, not yet. What are we missing?
The, the reason, ma'am. So then,
The reason.
therefore,
Mm-hmm.
AB
Okay.
Wait.
So remember,
A.
when we're thinking about a reason, remember we're talking about geometry reasons. So what is the
So
reason that I've said that this is true? Why can I say that a squared is equals to b squared plus c squared? Because of,
converse Pythagoras.
so not
Pythag.
converse, but just Pythag. Remember, this
Pythagoras.
is why you're always going to go back to this. When you're calculating a missing side, you're just going to use Pythagoras. So your reason is just going to be Pythag. It's only
Yes,
when
ma'am.
you're actually proving that it's a right angle triangle, that is when you are going to use the converse Pythag. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Great.
ma'am.
Thank you very much, Emefiele. Last question. Are we done?
Yes, I think so, ma'am.
Yes, we are. Thank you,
Uh,
Emefiele, for answering. I think I saw Unati next in the queue, but let me just double check super quick. Uma is next in the queue. Yes, Uma.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Uh, so I'm gonna say a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared.
Okay, can I choose a different color? Let's go orange. We're gonna say a squared is equals to b squared plus c squared. Yep.
My username is Pythagoras.
Putting the reason first. Smart. Mm-hmm.
Um, 20 squared is equals
Mm-hmm.
to bc squared
Mm-hmm.
plus 6 squared.
Okay. Give me a second. So what Umar did is he said, this is my hypotenuse, not because 20 is bigger than 6, but because from my three sides in the triangle, I don't have all of my lengths, so I can't say which side is going to be the longest. But what I can say is I can say this is the side that is opposite my right angle. And so that is why we have to substitute 20 in on this side. Now, it didn't matter if you said 6 squared plus BC squared, it would have still given you the same thing. So the only thing you're really going to be super, super concerned about is substituting your hypotenuse in the right place. But as long as you've got your hypotenuse in the right place, it doesn't matter where you put the other two. So, Uma, carry on for me.
400 is equals to bc squared plus 36.
Is
Then you
equals.
transpose 400 minus 36 is equals to bc squared. Then you get 364 is equals to bc squared.
Hold on, give me a second. So we're transposing, we're saying 400 because we've moved it across that equal to sign, we say minus, we have BC squared, and then this is 364, which is equals to BC squared, and then what?
Um, bc you square root. So
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm rounding off to decimal places. It's going to be 19,08.
Is equals to BC. And are we done?
No, we are not
Mm-hmm. What are you missing?
centimeters, ma'am.
There you
Centimeters.
go.
See, ma'am, I
Uh,
never messed it out in the test, ma'am.
you never miss it out.
Yes.
That's good. I was always
Because
someone
uh,
who left my
they
unit.
never make us use theorem of Pythagoras for anything.
Oh, they didn't make you use it for anything.
Yep.
That's strange, but you're very good at it anyway, so thank you for answering, Uma. Let us see who is next. Unati, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
Okay. You can let me know if now that you see it, you still want to answer.
Hi, ma'am. I'll skip this one.
Okay. Are you sure? It's really not as bad as it looks. I just know when people see this proof, then they get scared. But it's really not so bad.
Oh, wait, ma'am. I'll do it. I'll do it.
There you go. Okay. What are we doing?
We'll say we'll say a squared equals to b squared plus c squared.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
And then we'll put a squared as 17 squared
Why?
because it's the hypotenuse.
How did you know it was the hypotenuse?
Because it's the longest side.
It's the longest side. And just to be very careful about terminology, you're saying it's the hypotenuse, which, remember, we only have a hypotenuse in a right angle triangle. We don't yet know that this is a right angle triangle. So it's our potential hypotenuse, okay?
Yes.
A very minor terminology, just so that you guys are aware. I don't know yet whether it's a hypotenuse, but if this was a right angle triangle, this would be my hypotenuse because it's the longest side, okay? 17 squared. So.
And then equals to 8 squared plus 15 squared. And then 17 squared equals to 64 plus 225. And then 17 squared equals to 298.
Are you sure it's 98?
Oh wait, 89, sorry.
There you go.
And then ma'am, I forgot where to go from here.
Okay. Let's expand the 17 squared out. What does 17 squared give you?
It gives you 289. Oh, okay.
Okay. So now I see that my equation balances, okay? So what did we say up here? If my left-hand side is equals, oh boy. If my left-hand side is equals to my right-hand side, what does that mean?
It means that the triangle is a right angle triangle.
It means, oh, that was so far. Sorry. If anybody saw that, just act like you didn't. I can't make anything work today. Okay, so what can we conclude now, Unati?
We can conclude that triangle ABC is a right angle triangle.
And are we done?
No.
What are we missing?
The reason.
What's my reason?
The reason is converse Pythag.
Beautiful. Very important to have this converse and then Pythag. Are we done, Unati?
Yes, ma'am.
100% we are. Thank you very much. Yeah, and I told you it wasn't so bad. Bree, do you want to answer the next one or do you have a question?
I want to answer.
Beautiful. So again, we have a proof that the triangle below is right angled. How are we going to do it?
So we're going to say a squared equals to b plus c squared. And then we're going to substitute a squared with 13. And then equals to 8 squared plus 11 squared. 13 squared is 169. Equals to 64 plus 121. And so 169 equals to 185. So therefore, triangle ABC is not a right angle triangle. And my reason for this is Pythag.
Are you done now?
Yes.
Technically, yes. It's not super important, but you guys must always be very aware that right now you're giving me something that is wrong.
The line is plus the equal.
So as soon as you see that it's not equal, you can't still say that it's equal. You have to cross out that equal to sign so that it reads 169 is not equal to 185. And now, Bree, you are done. And that was super, super fast. Thank you very much.
Okay, ma'am.
I see Demi and I see Itandile, but my brain break is next. So It's a very short brain break too, because I don't know why I thought you guys would take long with this. But anyways, we'll do our brain break, Demi and Ethan, and then forget about you. You guys will go. You guys will go after the brain break. We have spot the differences, and again, I really thought we needed a short one because I just felt like it was so much work. But you guys, as I said, crushing it. Demi, do you want to answer this? Do you see any differences?
Ma'am, let's see. Okay, the star on his head
So we have the star. Good job. Thank you. Let's.
and the dark.
Okay. And the dark. Okay, actually, I think we're going to leave it at that because we have a few hands up. So thank you, Demi, for those two. Itandile, what do you see?
Good afternoon, ma'am. I see that little purple thing that's on the sky.
This
Ma'am,
thing.
I see the yes, ma'am. And I also see
flame.
yes, ma'am. And I also see on his bag. In
What?
his bag and
This.
paper, and I see that he doesn't have a cute cheek on the other side.
Okay. Okay, that's enough. Thank you, Itandile.
Okay, ma'am.
How do I make this more visible? Oh, okay. Let's try it. Let's circle it like that. There we got that one. We got that one. So how many do we have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5, so we're halfway done. Again, very short brain break, but it is what it is. Uma, yes.
Ma'am, as you can see, there's an ice in the corner over there, and on the other image, there's no ice.
Okay. Do you have another one?
I
One more.
think it has to do something with the mountains. I have a feeling.
No.
Like the line. Okay.
Well, actually, I don't know, but I don't think so.
Oh wait, there's an extra cloud in the sky.
There's an extra cloud in the sky.
And at the corner, on top of that mountain, there's no cloud.
Okay. Thank you, Uma, for that. We're gonna take the last one from somebody else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no, there's 2 more. So we'll take the last 2 from somebody else. Itandile. Wait,
Ma'am,
Itandile, you answered.
he has a heart. Ma'am, he has a heart.
I take it back. I take it back.
Ma'am, he has a heart on his hand.
I'm not listening. Sorry, Itandile.
Ma'am,
Oh yes.
Yeah, ma'am. The penguin has hey man, he's got a heart there by his hand. And ma'am, you called me at the wrongest time ever.
Sorry, Liako. Why do you not have another one?
Yes, ma'am. Wait, I'm just trying to check if there's another one here. Ma'am, I feel like it's somewhere there by the mountains, ma'am, but I can't spot it.
No, I don't think it's the mountains. I think I see the last one.
Ma'am, it's the labeling. There's no label.
No, this doesn't count. Oh, jeez, I almost dropped this tablet. Anyways, Brie, I saw your answers in the chat. Thank you, and Kaylee and Lee. Liacho, do you have any idea?
No, ma'am. I think everything now practically now the same.
Okay, let's ask.
Ma'am, the link is blocking some of the water waves. You can say that.
No.
The shadows. Yeah, the shadows.
No, but Brie has it. The pom-pom on his hat is different colors.
Are you serious, ma'am? Does that really count, ma'am? Because like, does that really count?
Ma'am, these things look the same. No, they look the same.
They're literally different colors. Look at this. This is fully white.
Yeah, it's more white, and then the other one's a bit more darker.
That's like pink. You see. Come on, guys. Do I have answers? No. No. I don't even know where I scroll to. Oh my gosh, why don't I have answers? What if I didn't know? Okay. That is that. That's our brain break. I actually think we're gonna finish early again.
Ma'am, that was so quick, ma'am. Like
I know you guys are surprising me.
I think, ma'am, we should add 3 more for next week. 3 more.
We can have an extra brain break if we finish early at the end.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Demi and Itanile, your hands were up. These are obviously harder questions. Take a second, evaluate whether or not you want to answer still, and then you guys can raise your hands again. For now, I'm gonna lower all, and then if you still want to answer, raise your hands, and you guys will get first preference. Okay, Itanile, your hand is up. Do you want to answer?
I want to answer.
Which one? Top one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm afraid of the bottom one because I'm
How?
never good at converting. So, ma'am, basically, ma'am, we are supposed to prove the first right angle triangle if it is a right angle triangle. So, ma'am, we're gonna say a squared is equal to b squared plus c
Wait,
squared.
which first right angle triangle is this number one and this number two, or how are we working this? Oh no,
Number 2, ma'am.
what's number two? Okay, so you're saying you want to prove that it's a right angle triangle. I
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
tell you, you don't have to prove, because do you see this is a straight line?
Yes, ma'am.
If this is a straight line and this is 90, what does that tell you about this side?
It's also 90, ma'am.
It's also going to be 90. So whenever you see a 90-degree angle on a straight line, you never have to prove that the other triangle or the other angle is a right angle. Because as soon as you have angles on a straight line, we know they add up to 180. So if you wanted to, what you could do is you could say 90 plus, and we can call it x is equals to 180. You could say angles on a straight line,
Yes, ma'am.
and then you could go 90 is equals to 180. No, x is equals to 180 minus 90, and you get x is equals to 90. So now you know that this would also be 90, but this is not necessary, because when we're doing these types of questions, we always just assume we know that this is also 90 if the other side is 90. Also, if you were to prove that this was a right angle triangle, you wouldn't be able to. Why? Because we only know the length of this entire line. We don't know the length of the line that stops just here. Do you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, and I keep forgetting I drew all of these things by myself. Then I just erase all of it. Let's try not erase my stuff. Okay. So let's go now. Now what do we do?
Ma'am, we say a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared.
Mm-hmm.
And then, ma'am, I said a squared is equal to 24 squared plus 12 squared.
Okay.
Which I understand I was wrong.
Okay. So now that you see that it's wrong, what would you do? Take a moment if you need to think about it. But what would you think is the correct thing to do in this case?
Ma'am, don't we half 24 or quarter 24?
No, I can't assume that this is a quarter. But what I want you to try and do, Itandile, is, and let's see if I want you to look at this triangle in isolation. So ignore this other triangle, okay, on this side, and look at this triangle. We have a right angle triangle, and now tell me, if you were to do Pythagoras on this triangle, how would you do it?
I would say a squared. I would say 20 squared is equals to 12 squared plus c squared, which would give me 400 minus 144 is equals to 12 squared.
So c squared equals
So
to c squared.
Yes, ma'am. So minus 144 Ma'am, it will give me 256 is equals to c squared. Then I would square both sides
Mm-hmm.
and the root squared cancels out with the square, and I forgot now.
We just have to simplify the side.
Okay, ma'am. Sorry. So it's 256, right, ma'am?
Mm-hmm.
So it
I'm
give me
also
16.
256. Let me just check that. Oh my gosh, my calculator is not working.
You're not the only one, ma'am.
Okay, so we do have that C is now equals to 16. And C in my case was this length over here. Do you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
So we now know that this missing length here is 16.
16.
But that's not what we were required to do, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, by the way, are we done with this part of the calculation?
Oh, ma'am, our reason is Pythag.
Our reason for saying that is because of the theorem of Pythagoras. So now we can undo our isolation, and now we can look at the other side. So now what are you thinking?
Ma'am, I am thinking that since the whole length of the side is 24, don't we minus 16 from 24 to get the other side?
That's exactly what we do, which is going to give us 8.
Yes, ma'am. And then, ma'am, we can start using Pythagoras theorem, which we're going to say a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared. We don't have a squared, hypotenuse we don't have. So, ma'am, we're going to say a squared is equals to 12 squared. Sorry, ma'am. 12 squared plus 8 squared, which is a squared is equals to 144 plus 64. 8 squared is equals to 8. 10. It's 208. Then we square both sides. Square root both sides, ma'am. When we square root 208 gives us 14,422, which is 14,4.
Yeah, okay. Well, we rounded to 2 decimals in this place. So 14,2, and we're just going to put in units. Are we done?
Yeah, no, ma'am. Pythagoras.
Pythag. So now we're moving into some compound questions. We're moving into some questions where it's not so straightforward, where you just have one triangle, where everything is given to you, exactly as you see it. So looking at this question, now that we've done it, are we all on the same page? Are we all following how I got this answer? I saw one thumbs up, I think, from Amy there. Kaylee, glad that you are with us. Everybody else, must I ask you guys individually? Don't let yourselves get left behind, guys. Okay, I'm gonna take it as we're all following. Who talks a lot? Liacho, you with us? Is Liacho gone? Uma, you with us?
Sorry, ma'am, I'm here, ma'am.
Liacho, you with us? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do, ma'am. I just disconnected for a few seconds. You lagged.
No stress. Okay. Uma, there we go. We have some thumbs up. Thank you. Let us move on. Let me check Demi. Demi has retracted her hand. So, there we go. We have Uma. Uma, let us try and answer. Oh, Sorry, give me a second. Let us try and answer this one. What are your thoughts?
A squared is equals to B squared plus C squared.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're gonna say 2 squared is equals to 50 squared plus PR squared. Oh wait. We have to convert 2 meters into centimeters.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be 200.
Okay, so how many meters? No, how many centimeters are in a meter?
I think 100.
100. So that is how you got 200. You multiplied 2 by 100. And so let's immediately, we don't want our measurements in different units. So we're going to replace that with 200 centimeters. Try again.
200 is equals to 50. 200 squared is
There you
equals
go.
to 50 squared plus PR squared. And our reason is Pythagoras, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
400 is equals to
400?
yes.
Mm-mm.
No, wait, 4,000.
I don't think it's 4,000. It's not 4,000.
Let me pull out my calculator.
Because remember, it's going to be 2 times 2, which would be the 4. And then it would be the 4 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
40,000.
There you go, 40,000. So 40,000. Mm-hmm.
Is equals to 2,500 plus PR squared.
Mm-hmm.
You transpose and you get 37,500.
Okay, hold on. Equals to PR squared, and then we said 37,500 is equals to PR squared. We're done?
Now you must square root and you get 193,65.
Okay, so 193,65 is equals to PR. Are we done?
Ma'am, centimeters.
There you go. Centimeters. And so now we know this missing side is, and let's round it off to the nearest centimeter. We'll go 194 centimeters. Okay, super important, guys. When we're dealing with these questions, you cannot do it when we have different units. You're always going to convert first to the same units, and then you are going to sub in your same measurements into the formula. If you didn't know how we converted from centimeters, or from rather meters to centimeters, remember we were going from a big measurement to a small measurement. So because of that, we multiplied, and how many centimeters are in a meter? It was 100. So that is what we multiplied by. Okay. And then we got our answer. Moving on. Let me do this. We have find the area of a rectangle whose length is 144 centimeters and the length of the diagonal is 145 centimeters. Kind of crazy question. What does this have to do with Pythagoras? Well, let's see if somebody knows. Bree, did you have a question or do you want to maybe answer?
Ma'am, I have a question about the previous. Yeah.
Bree, I can't really hear you. Like I can hear your voice, but it sounds very muffled.
My earbuds don't really work.
There we go. I heard it. I can hear you perfectly now.
About the previous question, I
Mhm.
have like a question with the reason. Since we're looking for the third, I don't know, measurement or unit, isn't it the converse of Pythag?
No. Remember, let's look at the difference up here. When we are using just Pythagoras, we are required to calculate a missing side, which is what we did. When it's the converse, we are required to prove a right angle triangle. So based on these two, what we did was we calculated the length of a missing side. Do you see that?
Oh, okay.
So that is why it was the converse. Now that we have that, Unati, I saw your hand go up. Did you have a question or did you want to answer?
Ma'am, I only wanted to answer one part.
Okay. Tell me how it.
So it has to do with Pythagoras because if you draw a line through a rectangle, it makes like a right angle triangle. Is that why?
Of course it does. So, but how did you know that? How did you know? So I'm drawing a line through it, and let me do it in green. If I draw this line through my rectangle, how do I know that this triangle over here is a right angle triangle? How do I know that?
I don't know, ma'am.
Because of properties of our rectangle. Remember we did that one lesson on the properties of quadrilaterals?
Yes, ma'am.
So that is why it's super important to know them, because you have to know that the four corners of your rectangle are right angles. So because we knew in a rectangle we have four right angles, we know when we draw the diagonal, it creates two right angle triangles. So thank you for helping me with that, but Unati, I will finish it up myself.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Itandile, your hand is up. Did you want to answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what are we thinking from here?
Ma'am, I'm thinking since the length of the diagonal part is 145, ma'am, I'm thinking of labeling the diagonal part 145 and then the length of 144. Ma'am, it doesn't say which side, but then, ma'am, I wanna think that it's basically the bottom side. I'm just thinking, ma'am.
Why can't it be the top side?
I don't know, ma'am.
It can be the top side because with properties of a rectangle, remember we have opposite sides that are equal in length, meaning
Yes, ma'am.
this side is equal to this side.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
again, properties of quads super important because it will tell us that if this side is 144, it means my top side is also going to be 144 centimeters. You with me there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now what are we doing?
Ma'am, so ma'am, we're gonna say a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared, while 145 squared is equals to 144 squared plus c squared, and then 145 squared 145 squared is my calculator. Why is it not working? Why is it not working?
It's okay, I filled it in for you. It's 21,025.
Yes, ma'am. And 144 squared
I'm also doing
is 20,736. Yes, ma'am. Then, ma'am, we are gonna transpose, which is 121,025 minus 20,736 equals to c squared.
Yes, that's correct.
Now I lost my maths. Okay, ma'am.
There we go. I filled it in again.
Yes, ma'am.
So when we do
289.
that math, it's 289 equals to c squared.
So, ma'am, we're gonna square root both sides, ma'am, and 289 gives us 17
Okay.
centimeters.
17 centimeters. That sounds so weirdly wrong. But okay, that's our calculation is going to be, and this is going to be C. So that tells me now that this side over here is 17 centimeters. And if this side is 17 centimeters, what does it tell me about this side?
It's also 17 centimeters, ma'am.
It's also 17 centimeters. But have I answered the question as yet?
Find the area. No, ma'am.
What do I need to do now? I'm going to find the area, okay? So my
Yes, ma'am.
area is equals to length times
Length
breadth.
times breadth, ma'am. So it's gonna be A is equals to 17 times 144.
And what are we getting?
I'm getting 2,448
There you go. 2,448. And I swear I saw...
centimeters.
I did see the answer in the chat. Aliaho had the answer. There we go. And that is the answer. Thank you very much, Itandile, for trying that one with me. That does bring us to the end of the lesson. So thank you guys for joining. I think I had one more. Determine the perimeter of the triangle. Again, guys, Pythagoras. We have our missing sides. You're going to calculate the third side, and perimeter, we're just going to add